Hi guys. Welcome. Welcome aboard. Welcome back. Welcome home. Absolutely, and as always, fully and completely dependent on where... You know what? I'm not feeling stuck anymore. Hold on. Sorry. Alright. Nope, that's not it either. Okay. Sorry. Just had a moment with that deck. It wanted, then it didn't. I'm down. All right. Anyway, welcome. Welcome back. Welcome aboard. Welcome home. Completely and totally, as always, fully dependent on where you are in relation to this energy, this week, this channel, everything. We are talking about the week of March the 7th through the 13th of March. Let's get right into it, okay? So there's a lot going on in the world. That means there's a lot going on in your life. As above, so below, right? Monday, March 7th, we begin with a Taurus moon that conjuncts Uranus, sextiles Saturn and the Sun, Jupiter and the Sun, squares Saturn, and sextiles Neptune. Please be mindful of the way that things move in and out the doors of your mindfulness and your consciousness, right? What are you allowing in? What are you ushering out? The key here is motion. Remembering that the big picture, the focus here is about your future, your fate, your destiny. And keep in mind, the North Node is still trining Pluto and Venus and Mars, right? The big picture. The big picture is the focus. On Tuesday, the 8th, we have that Taurus moon. Thank you. That will square Mercury and trine Pluto before moving into Gemini. After which we have trines to Venus and Mars, right? So this is a day you wake up and you want to get shit done. But you feel a little bit of resistance, right? There's a little resistance to your normal getting shit done kind of energy. That's okay. That's okay. That's okay. Don't speak more into that than there is, because by midday, that is going to lighten up, right? Once that moon moves into Gemini, you will be a little more in line with potential, a little more acquainted with possibility, right? You might even shift that script to read nothing is impossible in your 3D experience in the way you function within it. And as that moon moves into Gemini and brings that push, that breath of fresh air, literally, pay attention to the ideas, right? Your communication, all of those things. On Wednesday, the 9th of March, we have a Gemini moon that sextiles Chiron before Mercury moves into Pisces in the evening. And then the moon squares Jupiter. What does that mean? Well, here's the deal. This is a day of examination, of assessment, right? It's a day to dig into your wounds. It's a day to pull off your Band-Aids. It's a day to check your scabs and check your scars, right? It is a health check, a healing check. Let it be that. As Mercury moves into Pisces and then the moon squares Jupiter, please mind your tendency to overshare, right? Be aware of the difference between speaking from your traumas and speaking your healing into being. There is a difference. Just pay attention. I would invite you to pay attention to your dreams as well as you go into Wednesday night. On Thursday, the moon squares the sun, trines Saturn, squares Neptune, and is indirect to Pluto. So overnight, mind those dreams, right? They might show you things, directions, paths that were previously unexpected or considered or unexplored. Fascinating. Okay, well, how about that? Yeah, Paths unexplored. The key here is when you wake up on Thursday, keep your dream recall very, very rudimentary. Keep it simple, right? You might find it a little bit blurry later, but here's the deal. By the time night falls and you have that indirect energy, that quincunx to Pluto, it's all going to come back one way or the other. So just kind of put a bookmark in it and let it do whatever it needs to. Trust me, it will come back. Friday, the moon moves into Cancer. Yeah, and then trines Mercury. And then we have a beautiful moon, quincunx, Venus, and Mars. So this is about gathering your feelings. It's about paying attention to synchronicity and symbol and serendipity, right? The language of your heart is feelings. The language of your heart is not thought. I think I feel blah, 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 is an incongruous statement, right? So discern your expression as a two-way street with the universe, right? A two-way conversation, right? We talked about that in and out. This is in and out. On Friday, when the moon moves into Cancer, trining Mercury, pay attention to the way you're speaking that in and out when it comes to your feelings, right? This is important because how you feel is your conversation with the universe. Thank you. Okay, that's exciting. On Saturday, wow, Cancer moon squares Chiron, sextiles Uranus, trines Jupiter, moves quincunx Saturn, and trines the sun. Now here's the deal. That first aspect to Chiron. Chiron is the only fire in our sky this week. We have a big watery bunch of energy, right? We have the sun, Jupiter, Neptune, Mercury, and then the moon in water. We have Venus and Mars and Saturn all in air. Pluto, the North Node, Uranus in earth signs. The lone fire sign, fire representative, let's put it that way, this week until the very, very end of the week when the moon moves into Leo is Chiron in Aries. And so Chiron in Aries is one of those trigger happy kind of characters. So here's the deal. As we have this Cancer moon squaring Chiron, don't get caught up in your own backstory, right? This is the only fire. Do not let it be your only inspiration. It is 100%, wow, that's an interesting day. It's 100% okay to really explore that, right? As we dig into the healing. But don't get caught up in what appears to be on fire, right? Your triggers aren't your focus. They don't have to be. You can choose to dive a little deeper. By dinner time, here's the deal. Don't sit around. Whatever you do Saturday evening, do not park your butt on the couch. Do something. Do something for yourself that will feed your soul and nurture your passions, whatever that is. If it's a walk around a beautiful lake, that's great. If it's painting a picture, that's great. Whatever it is that feeds your soul, do it on Saturday night. Please, please don't sit around. On Sunday, March 13th, the moon trines Neptune. The sun conjuncts Neptune. The moon opposes Pluto. And then the moon moves into Leo, right? So this is a day of balancing out, right? Here's the thing. As that moon trines Neptune, and then the sun conjuncts Neptune, right? This is a day of feeling, right? Tune into your feelings. Where is your identity? Is it solid? Is it in question? Is it unclear? Do you have blurry edges as things come in and go out? where's your line? Where's your demarcation, right? As that moon opposes Pluto, you might feel like your heart is getting pulled right out of your chest. You might feel like you are being so personally challenged. Here's the deal. You might be being personally challenged, but the challenge is to offer it up as a shift, right? Remembering who you are as that moon moves into Leo is important. What are you feeling, right? And then as that moon rocks right up to Venus and Mars, this is about being able to insert yourself into your own narrative in whatever way you feel is the most appropriate. You hear me say whichever way you feel is the most appropriate, not whichever way you think, not with all that Neptune. No, it's whichever way you feel is most appropriate. The key here is that we have to tell and retell our story as many times as possible in order that we create that self, that identity, that narrative that is going to bring us the most peace and the most joy and the most contentment. What are you letting in as you're healing? What are you leaving out? What are you omitting? How are you editing that narrative, right? Those are your questions this week. Let's talk. Monday. Whew. All right. Queen of Cups, Seven of Wands. Queen of Cups is all about the embodiment of feeling, right? Feeling contentedness. The Seven of Wands is, what do you need to defend? What is worth defending, right? We talked about this as being the day in and out, in and out, in and out, right? She's the only closed cup in the whole deck, creating that perfect vessel. We're talking about motion, right, as being a key. And remembering that this is our day to really focus on the big picture. What in your picture and experience of contentment is worth defending? That is a question you must answer, right? On Tuesday, we talked about this as being a day where we dug our heels in a little bit in the morning, but then really as the moon moved into Gemini, came up with that nothing is impossible idea. Okay, look, we've got the Four of Pentacles and the Nine of Cups. Four of Pentacles is a little dig your heels in, is a little, I don't really want to, is a little holder backer, right? This is the holder backer energy. This is, I'm just going to sit here with my stuff. That's okay. If you want to in the morning, go right ahead. Nobody's going to stop you. Nobody's going to stop you. But after that moon moves into Gemini, you're not going to be able to do that. As that moon moves into Gemini and then trines Venus and Mars, again, your 3D function, right? Your concept of home, your concept of how you create that home, live within that sensory experience, right? The Nine of Cups is a card of wish fulfillment. This is, my heart is full. I have created my contentment. I am acquainted with all the ways my heart is asking to be filled. So if you start the day off a little grumpy bug, that's okay. It will change, right? Be in line with the concept that the day will change and that nothing is impossible. On Wednesday, right, Mercury moves into Pisces later in the day. But we have that sextile, that moon, Gemini moon sextiling Chiron, and then later the Pisces moon. Is that? No, I'm so sorry. The Gemini moon will square Jupiter. Yeah, that's right. I had to rewrite my notes, guys, because I have a sty on my eye, so I can't really see very well. This is our day of examinations and assessments, of course, right? We're digging into our wounds. We're doing that health check. We're talking about expression and oversharing. So here's the deal. We've got the Five of Wands, right? This is about posturing. This is about checking things out, right? This is about sparring but not quite engaging. And then we've got the Six of Swords, which is about moving away from, right? This is a card of transition. This is a card of moving from emotional turbulence into emotional clarity and understanding that you're always being facilitated, right? So as Mercury moves into Pisces and you get that opportunity to expand your languaging, right? Even though Mercury is challenged in Pisces, right? Mercury in Pisces, let's face it, would really prefer a little telepathy. But we have this beautiful 3D opportunity. So as that moon squares Jupiter, you're asked to mind your expressions, right? Witness how you can overshare or speak your healing into being simply by understanding that where you're standing is just one perspective, right? Just your perspective, that's all. It's important, but it's just one perspective. On Thursday, we have got the Ace of Swords and the Ten of Swords. Look, if you want to pick it up and put it down, here you go. Whatever you discovered along the way, this is a big deal, right? We talked about this as being a night where you might ask on Wednesday night for those dreams, right? Those messagings in your dreams to find those new directions, those new paths, unexpected ways to witness your journey, right? And by the end of the day, as we have that in conjunction to Pluto, what are you ready to transform, right? Pluto takes you into the depths, all the way down, right? By day's end, you're ready, and guess what? You have that brand new sword, that brand new idea, that brand new way to witness, that brand new way to understand your beliefs, having put down what no longer belongs, right? What has hurt you? Like, this is that total, oh, tell me what hurt you. Tell me what hurt you, but here's the deal. Tell me what hurt you, and then put it down, knowing that the universe is offering you that next perfect thing, right? And we know that aces have to be welcomed with gratitude and put into action. You can't just hold on to them. You can't just say, oh, that's a great idea. That's a great idea. No, doesn't work like that. Here's why. So on Friday, as the moon moves into Cancer, right, we talked about this as being that day to really dive into synchronicities, symbols, serendipity, really be into the language of your heart, right, and witness everything as that two-way conversation with the universe. The King of Swords, he's going to pick that sword up, right? He's got it in his hand. He's going to move with it, right? The king is that master of ideas, really being able to discern what's important and what's not as we talk about what goes out and what comes in, what goes out and what comes in. Again, we have this Five of Swords, again, asking you, where did you go with this Six of Swords here? Where did you transition to? Did you put it down? Because here we go, right? Are you sure? Are you sure you're not holding on to it? And if you are, today is the day to release it. This is your two-way conversation with the universe. Paying attention. What I love about the court cards in Swords, right, is that they all have these beautiful butterflies in their symbolism, right? Asking us to be witness to how we transform our ideas by what we're willing to put down, right? By how we're willing to not hold on to things and posture and stand on our ideas. What we give away, we always get back in some other form. On Saturday, this is that day we talked about, oh boy, Chiron, right? Really, really paying attention and not getting bogged down in your backstory. So here's the deal. This is the Knight of Wands and the Four. So the Four of Wands is this gorgeous energy of having created something beautiful, really being able to enjoy it, right? Look, we're dancing. We have, it's a beautiful card. 1111, right? We have such divine imagery here. We've got this castle, which is all about what we have created. And then we've got the Knight of Wands, right? Asking us to be fearless in our pursuit And this is the day that I said, don't sit around. Don't sit around at night. Get up, do something. These are cards of action, right? Wands are cards that ask you to engage with your life. Don't get bogged down in your backstory. Don't sit around, right? And ruminate on nonsense. Be willing to cut the nonsense out so that you can be in glory and celebration, so that you can witness and dance and do whatever you want to do instead of sitting around. Let the transitions happen, right? On Sunday, we talked about this as a day of balance. The sun conjuncts Neptune, the moon trines Neptune. The moon opposes Pluto before moving into Leo. Look, justice this is a major, right? So we're talking about your identity here. Where are you questioning your identity? Where is your identity solid? Where is it unclear, right? As the moon opposes Pluto, right? Where are you really feeling into your own transformation, right? We keep talking about this transformation energy, right? With this butterfly and this moving away from and this shifting and this allowing. So the question is, what energy would you like to be in? Would you like to be in this Five of Wands? Or would you like to be in the Four of Wands? Would you like to move to the Seven of Wands? It doesn't really matter, right? Let the Knight of Wands take you wherever he wants you to go, right? Wherever you want to be transformed to as you create your own and next level identity with these beliefs, as you release what is no longer serving you. That is your justice. That is your balance. That is your harmony, right? Where are you feeling in tune with this concept of big picture that we talked about at the beginning of the week, right? With this trine to the North Node. Everything that you're doing is shifting and creating your future. How you call it in is up to you. How you choose to balance it is up to you, right? Everywhere we've got this foreground and background that we want to pay attention to, right? How are we holding our ground within our motion, within our shifts, within our changes? How are we telling and retelling, right? How are we bringing in our healing? How are we witnessing ourselves as who we are in the moment instead of in the past? How are we paying attention to what's worth defending, right? Over nonsense. What's worth defending? Guess what? I mean, that's a question for you. I cannot tell you what is worth defending for yourself. I can only tell you that you know those answers. You definitely know those answers. You definitely know those answers. Amar Fati. This means love your life, the good and the bad, right? Everything. Where you have been, where you wish to go, right? And the way that you get there. And the way that you get there. Everything in between. Every single thing in between. Message in a bottle. This ought to be interesting. I only say that because of my challenged reading abilities at the moment. Communication, right? A sign. A Cleton. The ancient name for a spontaneous oracle delivered innocently by a speaker, pointing the way to your highest good. Look, that's how I live my life, y'all. Again, we talked about this as a week where you need to pay attention to symbols and synchronicities and signs. Here's your message in a bottle. Spirit sends you signs when you ask for them. When you believe, you will receive them. And when you allow yourself to become fluent in the language of symbols, oracles, and omens. They may come to you as a bird flying by, a logo on a truck, a song on the radio. Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Right? Expect confirmation that you're pointed in the right direction. Keep your ears open, for someone might say just the right thing that will give you the answer to your question. The message today is Spirit hears you, and the reply is favorable. Okay, align, pay attention, right? The universe is trying always, 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 always to give you messages, to tell you, to show you, right? Use all of your senses. I had a great session earlier this week where my client said, I just want to see this with my own eyes. And I said, well, here's the deal. Maybe that's not what that intake looks like for you, right? Maybe there are 20 other messaging systems. Find your evidence where your evidence is. Find your evidence where your evidence is, right? It will be there. We have 6. We have 2 6s. Ooh, guys. Yeah. Pay attention. Pay attention. Big blessings.